So what is aldol condensation? It is a reaction between two aldehydes containing alpha hydrogen or ketone molecules, or an aldehyde or a ketone. But the condition is that we need an alpha hydrogen. Why? Because if we don't have alpha hydrogen, then we have Cannizzaro reaction. But if we have alpha hydrogen on aldehyde, we have aldol condensation reaction to yield the aldol product. What is aldol product? Aldol product is that a compound having OH, which is which is showing alcohol molecule and a carbonyl or aldehyde group. So this is a combination of two, that one intermediate having aldehyde and alcohol on a same product, like this one. We have OH, this is alcohol, and this is aldehyde. That's why we called it as aldol. Aldol means ALD from aldehyde and OL from alcohol. Okay. The word aldol actually means the combination of aldehydic and alcoholic groups in a single molecule known as aldol product, and the end product of aldol condensation is not aldol product. Keep in mind, the end product of aldol condensation is not aldol product, it is an intermediate. After condensation, okay, first we will get aldol product, and the condensation of aldol product, we have our final product, which is alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Okay, first of all we need two aldehyde or two ketone, or we need an aldehyde or a ketone to yield aldol product having aldehyde and alcohol group in a same molecule, and then we have our final product after condensation by withdrawing. But when we withdraw water molecule from aldol product, we have alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So what is the mechanism? So this is the first molecule of aldehyde, and this is alpha hydrogen. Okay, because it is present on alpha carbon, and this alpha hydrogen is withdrawn by this OH group, and then we have our enolate molecule. So you have to Google it, what is enolate. Okay, you have to know it by definition, what is enolate. And then we have two resonance stabilized structure. Okay, and afterwards we can have carbon carbon double bond, or we have oxygen with single bond and negative charge. But we will use this one because it is more stable, because we need carb anion. And this carb anion from our previous reaction will attack on the other molecule of aldehyde and on this carbonyl group. Okay, and then we have new carbon carbon bond, because this negative charge, and with this carbon we have new carbon carbon bond, and this oxygen will withdraw its electron with the breakage of this bond, and we have negative charge on oxygen, and we have new carbon carbon bond, and with oxygen on with negative charge. This is L oxide ion. The nucleophilic enolate ion, a carb anion, attacks the electrophilic carbonyl carbon of an other molecule of aldehyde. So this carbon will attack on carbonyl group of other aldehyde, and we have new bond, which is this one. This joins the carbon of one aldehyde to the carbonyl compound of a second aldehyde. So this one is from our previous step. So this act as nucleophile, and this one act as electrophile, and we have new carbon-carbon bond. And protonation of the L oxide with water forms the beta hydroxy aldehyde. And now we will have protonation of this oxygen with water, and we have OH group on this carbon and on beta carbon, and then we have beta hydroxy aldehyde, which is our aldol product, because we have alcohol group and aldehyde group on a same molecule. This is aldol product. Okay, it is not the end product. Now what we have to do, we have to withdraw, we have to do condensation of this aldol product to get our final product. What is the mechanism? First of all, we will remove hydrogen. So this is two hydrogen, so we will remove one hydrogen from this carbon and OH group from this carbon, and then we have double bond here. I will show you how. So first of all, we will remove the base, we remove this hydrogen deprotonation or dehydration. So you can remove this hydrogen, and then we have negative charge on this carbon, which is here. Okay, and then OH group is removed, and then we have carbon carbon double bond. But in some literature and in also some reference books and also on internet sources, you will find that some people will say that you can just withdraw this OH H2O water molecule like this. Okay, H from here, OH it is H2O, and you can form double bond here, and then you have your final product. Both procedure are right. Okay, what you have to do, you have to just withdraw water molecule. Okay, if you want to follow this procedure which I showed you, that you can take first hydrogen with the base, and then OH will be removed by itself as a base, and then we have double bond. Or you can remove OH H2O molecule like this, and then you have your final product, which is alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. Elimination reaction, so this is dehydration of aldol product with the base. You need a base and you have to do dehydration. You have to remove or you have to withdraw water molecule from your aldol product. What is aldol product? Having alcohol and aldehyde group in a same molecule. And when we perform condensation of aldol product, we have our final product, which is alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde, which is the final product of aldol condensation. So if we see some examples, so if we have two acetaldehyde, so this is alpha carbon, and this we have three alpha hydrogen. This is alpha carbon, and we have three alpha hydrogen. In the presence of base, we have three hydroxybutanol, which is aldehyde plus alcohol. Okay, we have aldehyde plus alcohol. This is our aldol product. If we want to do now the condensation, we will remove like we have hydrogen here, we can remove like this, and then we have double bond here, and this is our final product. Okay, or you can remove first hydrogen, then hydroxyl group, and then you can form double bond here. This is your final product of aldol condensation. So this product is aldol, and after condensation we have our final product. What are the important features which you have to remember? That aldol reaction can be carried out with either aldehyde or ketone. In these reactions, one carbonyl component serve as nucleophile, the first one, and one serve as the electrophile, the second aldehyde molecule, and a new carbon carbon bond is formed. NOH is the base containing OH group typically used in aldol reaction. It has a reversible equilibrium. So but we want that our reaction move forward, so we will provide more base. With aldehyde, the equilibrium favor product. With ketone, the equilibrium favor the starting material. Same the case that we want that our reaction will move forward to our end product, so we provide them the base, not the concentrated base, the same amount the base but in more amount. Aldol condensation is possible only when the carbonyl compound containing at least one alpha hydrogen atom. So this is the main feature. You need one alpha hydrogen atom. So if you don't have alpha hydrogen atom, then we have Cannizzaro reaction, not aldol condensation reaction. We need alpha hydrogen for aldol condensation. So these are the applications of aldol condensation. So like fatty acids, anti-cancer drug, ephedrine, and antibiotic nature products. These all are manufactured through aldol condensation. Now we will start our new topic, which is Favorosky rearrangement. So this is our new topic. So alpha halogenated ketone undergoes rearrangement in the presence of a base. So there are different types of bases available like hydroxide, haloxide, or an amine. So these are three bases available to give a carboxylic acid or its derivatives like esters or amide with the same number of carbon atom in the skeleton. The reaction is known as Favorosky rearranged alpha halogenated ketone. So we have this alpha carbon and we have this halogen on alpha carbon. So this is known as alpha halogenated ketone. So this is our carbonyl group and this is alpha. So we have on alpha carbon halogen. So this is alpha halogenated ketone. So Favorosky rearrangement was given by alpha halogenated ketone in the presence of a base. We have carboxylic acid or its derivative like ester or amide. Okay, but you have to know the definition of what is alkoxide, what is enolate, what is carbon anion. So you have to search by yourself, but we will discuss also in next step, but it also came in your exams or in quizzes. So what is the note? The halogen may be chloride, bromide or iodide. If the reaction involves cyclic alpha haloketone, the ring contraction will take place during rearrangement. The number of carbon atom in the skeleton will be reduced by 1. What does it mean? That if you have a cyclic compound, like if you have 6-member ring of alpha haloketone, I will show you what it looks like. Then we have ring contraction. Then we have 5 in our byproduct. But if we have a non-cyclic, which I show you in my previous example, the number of carbon will remain same. It is only in the case of cyclic compounds. Cyclic, like if they have some benzene ring or some other ring. So the cyclic compound will reduce to 5. So if we have 6-member, we have then at the end product 5-member ring. The main condition for this reaction is that the alpha haloketone should contain alpha hydrogen. We also need alpha hydrogen. This rearrangement takes place in the presence of a base, sometimes hydroxide, to yield a carboxylic acid. So if we have hydroxide, we will get COOH, OH group. So we have carboxylic acid. But most of the time, an alkoxide base or an amine to yield an ester on an amide respectively. So if we have alkoxide, we will get ester. And if we have amine, we get amide. Okay, it is simple. So you have to remember that if you have a cyclic alpha haloketone, then the ring contraction will take place. Then if your reactant is 6-member, then at the end product you have 5-member. And the other main condition that you need alpha hydrogen, and also hydroxide will yield carboxylic, alkoxide will yield ester, and amine will yield amide. So what is the mechanism? So we will start. So this is our alpha haloketone, and this is our halogen at alpha carbon, and this is also alpha carbon. So we have two alpha carbons. In the first step, deprotonation of alpha carbon take place to form an enolate ion or carbon anion. Okay, but you have to keep in mind that deprotonation of alpha carbon will take place on the other side of the halogen, not on this alpha carbon. Okay, the deprotonation will take place on the other side of the halogen. So if we have hydrogen here, we will perform deprotonation and it will attach with this base, and we have BH, and we have negative charge on alpha carbon. Afterwards, what will happen, that this enolate ion will form rearrangement, intramolecular nuclear substitution take place, followed by the production of cyclopropane by ring closure. So this negative charge will attack on this carbonyl group, and this halogen will be removed, and then we have cyclopropane ring formation. Okay, this carbonyl with negative charge will attack on this carbonyl group, and it will remove this halogen, and then we have cyclopropane ring formation. So again, so you have two alpha hydrogen, two alpha carbon, one alpha carbon contain halogen. On the other side of this alpha hydrogen, we will remove, or we will deprotonate with the base. Okay, and then we have negative charge on this alpha carbon here, and then this alpha carbon will form a ring structure, and it will attack this carbon, and then it will remove this halogen atom, and then we have ring formation. And now in the presence of base, it the base will attack this carbonyl, and we have any base which is OH pose attached here, and then O negative. Okay, now what will happen, that this oxygen form double bond with this carbon. We have double bond with this carbon and breakage of one of the two bonds. So now we have two bonds with the carbonyl group. So you can break this bond or this bond. It is up to you. Okay. In both cases, you will get a intermediate with negative charge on carbonyl group. Suppose if you break this bond, it will form double bond and we have negative charge here. And if you break this bond, we have negative charge here and double bond same. Okay. In both cases, you will get this intermediate. The cyclopropanone form thus undergo nucleophilic addition by a base at the carbonyl group followed by the cleavage of one of the carbon double bond O bond. So you have to form double bond O here like this and breakage of one of the bond. You can break this bond or you can break this bond. Like you can break any of the two bond and then you can open it. And then we will have again protonation of the stable carbanion ion give the final product carboxylic acid or carboxylic acid derivative. So we have negative charge here and if we have deprotonation, it will take hydrogen and we have our final product which is carboxylic acid or carboxylic acid derivative. So if we are using OH, so we have OH here and then we have our carboxylic acid. Or if we are using alloxide, then we have ester OR, or if we have amide, then we have the amide group. So, so these are the few examples. So it is given by alpha halogenated ketone. We have alpha carbon one here, one alpha carbon here. Okay. And then we will remove hydrogen from here and this will form a double bond. And then we will remove this one. And then what will happen? That we have base attached here. Then we can open from here or here. We have this our final product as carboxylic. Now we will talk about that if we are using six member ring. This is cyclic alpha haloketone. This is cyclic alpha haloketone. This is the alpha carbon and this is also alpha carbon. And what will happen? That we will take hydrogen from this one and then we have negative charge here and this will attack this carbon and we will remove this X from here. So it will be moved. Okay. Now what will happen? We can open from here or we can open from here. Okay. If we open from here, we have 5-member ring with COOH attached here. It is very easy. Okay. So if you have 6-member ring, so I will show you again. So So first of all, what will happen that we will remove this hydrogen from alpha carbon and then we have negative charge here. This carbon will attack on this carbon and we have a single bond between these two carbon. Okay, and then this will be removed and then base will attach here COOH and then when it form again double bond we can break this bond or this bond and then we have our 5-member ring which is cyclopentonic acid. So these are two mechanisms, one for alpha halogenated ketone which is non-cyclic and one for cyclic. It is up to you which you want to remember. Both are simple and straight. You have to remove the alpha hydrogen first and then this carbon will attack on the carbon of the halogen alpha carbon and then they have single bond and afterward we will add the base and then we will break any of the bonds of this carbonyl group. Suppose we can break this bond or this bond and it will open and then we have 5-member ring. So it is also the example this is 2-cyclohexanone and we will get cyclopentanoic acid. So we will show you how like this. Then we can remove this one and then we have on this carbon OH and then you can say when this will break it will be here and this is simple. Then we have 5-member ring. It is also in the case of 2-bromo 6 dimethyl cyclohexanone we will have 2,2-dimethyl cyclopentano carboxylic acid because we are using NaOH we will get carboxylic acid. So what is the application? So this are produced. This reaction has been successfully used to prepare bicyclic esters, steroid, non-steroid, pyrrolidine. So you can prepare all these compound by this reaction. You can also find more reaction by yourself also. So this is your homework. So now we will move forward our Witting rearrangement. What is Witting rearrangement? The Witting reaction uses a carbon nucleophile. The Witting reagent phosphorus yields to form alkenes from carbonyl compounds, aldehyde or ketone. So for Witting rearrangement, we need Witting reagent, which is phosphorus yield. When a carbonyl compound is treated with the Witting reagent, the carbonyl oxygen atom is replaced by the negatively charged alkyl group bounded to the phosphorus, that is the C double bond O is converted to C double bond C. The reaction is called Witting reaction. So first of all, you need Witting reagent, which is phosphorus yields, and what you have to keep in mind that carbon double bond O is replaced with or converted to C double bond C. So you have to replace this bond. Okay, then we have C double bond C. A Witting reaction forms two new carbon-carbon bond, one new sigma bond and one new pi bond. So there are two bonds, one is sigma bond, one is pi bond, as well as phosphorus byproduct PH3PO triphenyl phosphine oxide. So this is the byproduct of Witting rearrangement. So first of all, you need Witting reagent, which is phosphorus yield. Without Witting reagent, you cannot get Witting reaction or Witting rearrangement. And what will happen that C double bond O is converted or replaced by C double bond C. The a Witting reagent is an organophosphorus reagent, a reagent that contains a carbon-phosphorus bond. In a Witting reagent, a negatively charged carbon atom, we have negatively charged carbon atom, is bonded to a positive charged phosphorus atom. A Witting reagent is an yield. So this is positive charge. So we have abbreviation as PH3, P positive, positive charge phosphorus with negative charge carbon. So this is the a Witting reagent. So we need a negative charge carbon atom, which is this one, PH3, carbon negative and phosphorus positive. So this is yield. A typical Witting reagent has a phosphorus atom bonded to three phenyl groups. So it is attached with three phenyl group plus an other alkyl group bears a negative charge. So it can be attached to any other alkyl group. You cannot, it is any other alkyl group having a negative charge on carbon atom, and the length of the this alkyl group does not matter. So you have to add this to your compound. I will show you how. So how you can prepare Witting reagent? So this is two-step mechanism. So first of all, you need triphenyl phosphine with two electrons. So it acts as a nucleophile and it reacts with alkyl halide, and the halide will be removed and it will attach with the alkyl group, and we have phosphonium salt. And when this phosphonium salt is reacted with the strong base, okay, it will cause deprotonation of the alkyl group, and then we have negative charge on carbon and positive charge on phosphorus. This is our yield. So deprotonation of the phosphonium salt with the strong base form the yield. So this is our yield. We need a positive charge phosphorus and negative charge carbon for Witting reagent. So this is the general equation. So this is carbonyl compound, okay, and we have Witting reagent, and then we said we can form alkene, and we will have a byproduct which is triphenyl phosphine oxide. So if you remember the definition, we said that we will this bond is converted to C double bond O. But how? That this phosphorus will attack on this oxygen, which is negative charge, and this negative charge will attack on this carbon, okay, and it will form double bond with oxygen, and it will form double bond with your alkyl group, any alkyl group, and then we have alkene. So acetaldehyde reacts with Witting reagent, we have propene and our byproduct. What will happen that it will attack on oxygen and it will attack on carbon. And then we have propene and triphenyl phosphine because this bond, both bond will break, and this carbon will form double bond with carbon. And if we have cyclopropane, we will break this bond, and we have our 4 ethylene cyclohexane. So it is simple. So you need a yield, which is Wittig reagent, which contain a positive phosphorus and negative carbon. The negative carbon will attack on the carbonyl group, okay, carbon, and then P will attack on oxygen, which is phosphorus containing positive charge, and they will break the bonds of oxygen, and we have our byproduct, which is triphenyl phosphine oxide. Now, what is the first mechanism? That like other nucleophile, the Wittig reagent attacks an electrophilic carbon atom, forms two bonds and generates four-membered ring. So what will happen? This is our Wittig reagent. This carbon, this negative charge carbon will attack on this carbon and make a single bond, and this bond will break, and this oxygen will make a bond with phosphorus. So we have four-member ring. So we have four-member ring. Okay, how that this negative charge carbon will attack on this carbon because it sees a positive charge here and it is negative charge. So it will form a single bond with this carbon, and oxygen form single bond with phosphorus, which is positive charge. The negative charge carbon atom of the yield Wittig region attacks the carbonyl carbon to form a new carbon-carbon sigma bond, while the carbonyl oxygen atom attacks the positive charge phosphorus atom. This process generates an oxophosphopentane, a four-member ring containing a strong PO bond. So this bond is very strong, which it contains oxygen as electronegative atom, and it attaches with phosphorus. So now it makes a four-member ring, and this carbon-carbon bond is the new bond. So this is first sigma bond. Okay, this is new bond with carbon-carbon. Now what will happen? That this bond will break, and then we have double bond here, and this bond will break, and then we have double bond here. Okay, and then we have two products. One product is this one, and one product is this one. So in this we have two carbon-carbon bond, carbon-carbon double bond, which is this one, and then this compound or this product is our byproduct. Okay, then this initial additional duct undergo illumination of our byproduct, which is triphenyl phosphine oxide, is eliminated, forming two new pi bonds, and an alkene is thus formed. So two new pi bonds. So one pi bond is this one with oxygen with and phosphorus double bond, and one pi bond is with carbon carbon. So this is also double bond. So this is two-step mechanism. In what happened in first step, that Wittig reagent attacks on the carbon and the phosphorus will attack on oxygen. Then we have four-member ring. Afterwards, we will see that two new pi bonds will form between oxygen and phosphorus, and one with carbon-carbon. Okay, and then we have our two product. One is byproduct, and one is our desired product. So this is Wittig reaction. So what are the application? The Wittig reaction forms two carbon-carbon bond in a single reaction. It has been used to synthesize many natural products, including beta carotene. So if you want to prepare any compound, any carbon containing compound, you want to form double bond, you can use Wittig reagent. But you need some